Okay, so in this training video, I want to show you how to use Google Search Console to grab some quick SEO wins. So some low-hanging fruit strategy, some quick wins, and just generally how to use Search Console in a way that can boost your business. So the client that I'm using here for an example is actually a seasonal client. So they do have peaks and troughs in their search results. They're a Christmas client. So as you can see, it's starting to rise again now after having had a dip. If you look at the last 6 months, you'll be able to see the kind of dips and flows of it all, and even taking it back over a 16-month or a 12-month period, you can kind of really see the spikes where it's Christmas and then it tapers down and then it climbs. This is their pattern, and they can check this by comparisons. So you can compare your search engine results. Now, Search Engine Console will show you what your average rankings are in Google. And so that's what we're looking at here, the number of times that the website has appeared as an answer to a question in the search results, the number of times people have clicked through to it, its average ranking position. So you can compare lots of different ways to see how this stat is going. You can see it there. You can check the last 7 days if you really want a close-up view. The only thing I would say is it's not going to be the most accurate when you come down to on the day. And even 7 days is usually lower than it will actually balance out to be, because it takes a while for the data to catch up and be reported. But it's something you should be checking in at least once a month to see what your stats are doing, to see that you're going in the right direction. So at the top you'll have this data here, which when you come through Search Console, so go first to overview, this is what you'll see. If they're indexing issues, it's a quick snapshot of everything. You can check any URL on the page to make sure it's indexed in Google. So if you launch a new piece of content, you can pop it into the URL here and make sure that this all says it's on Google and request indexing if it isn't. You can come down here and check for any indexing issues, and it will give you ideas on how to fix them or why they're not indexed. You can check your sitemaps down here as well and make sure that there is one. But the thing that we're looking for is some quick wins. So we want to come over to the search results tab so that you see this. And I like to put it back to at least 12 months for this next strategy. Because what I'm looking to do, I use a tool called Keywords Everywhere that will give me volume within here. But if you don't sign up for Keywords Everywhere, it will not show you this. You won't get the actual search volume. You'll just get everything along here. And what I'm wanting to do is find any keywords that are on page 2 of Google. So primarily maybe on page 2 of Google, but that have low impressions. That's the first thing I'm going to check is, so I need to click on average position so that I can actually get that. And then I want to go for greater than 8. Because with ads and everything else, anything from page 8 tends to be either right at the bottom of page 1 or heading on to page 2 anyway. So I can now see, and I want to click over onto pages because I want to optimise it at a page level. I am looking for things that I can do to improve, to push any of these higher up the search engines. So I just have a scroll through, and I quite like the look of this one. It gets a lot of search volume. And I want to click on to the page itself, and I want to see everything that it's currently ranking for. So there's a lot of 2022 searches down there, so straight away I know that if I improve and change that to 2023, I'll get a bump in the rankings, because it will automatically be dropping down the rankings, because Google take the date when they're crawling it and they'll view it as out of it's already out of date, so we need to update the date so that it's 2023. I make a note of everything that is ranking, that it's got coming in, and I want to make a note of these keywords and make sure that the most important ones are in the copy. So I would make some notes around here, so I'd want to change a date, have I included a section for Scotland, just anything that I can find that I could add to the content. So I just grab all of this data and I just put it in a note document. Then I go over onto the page and I look for how I can improve that. Where can I update the content? Where can I add new content? Can I swap out the images? I'll add more internal links. I'll maybe add some reviews from the previous year. If I can find any video footage, I will add that to it. I'll link to things like TripAdvisor when it's an event like this, and the local companies themselves as well that we're recommending. Make sure all those links are up to date, make sure there's no broken links, make sure the content is all relevant, and I will just update the page in its entirety. You can do this regardless of your industry, regardless of your niche. You want to find things that you are getting a page that's getting a good average ranking, that's maybe about page 2 and just needs a boost up to page 1. Google already like it, they've put it on page 2, it just doesn't quite have everything that they need for all of the search data that they're after. So you just want to improve the content that's there using the data that you can find in analytics. In Search Console, add it to your page, make your page a bit longer, make sure it's current and up to date, and then hit republish. And bring it in here and try and get Google to re-index it again as quickly as possible. And then you'll start to see that climb. So for example, I did this recently with a page for myself that was tackling how to make money from SEO. It was hovering around about page 2 for the majority of search terms, and I just went in and added more content. I added more paragraphs under H2 headers using the keywords that I could find here. I updated a survey that was on it so that it was a more recent survey. I added a video and I added an additional social share graphic, and that is already starting to get results. Some of those search terms are now on page 1. So that's the kind of thing you want to look to do. Really quick, easy win. Sometimes SEO can be a really long-term game, but if you tackle these quick wins for the things that are already on page 2, you can expect to get results within weeks. For those, it doesn't take that long at all. Varies industry, but I tend to say between 3 and 12 weeks you can get these quick wins in. Another quick one you can get, we'll clear this data. Come down here. The other quick one you can get is something that has high impressions but a low click-through rate. So you want the impressions to be greater than, so for this site, high impressions are anything above sort of 60,000. Okay, so that's the first one that we want to tackle, but then we also want to look at one that's got a low click-through rate. Oh, to come up and click. Yeah, click on the click-through rate. Click-through rate of less than 1. Say 1.5 actually. And then it will show you where your click-through rate is not really hitting the mark, and you can think about changing. In those cases, you can think about changing your meta description because something's not connecting, so you would update your meta description. Make sure the search term intent, the search intent matches the page they're coming through to, and that's what you would do to improve your click-through rate, is change for the results that you find on the actual search engine. And that's just 2 ways you can use Search Console to get some really quick SEO wins and start driving really good targeted traffic through to your website.